Hey there. Once you've been in the workforce for a few years, you've probably looked around and the question pops up either right then or eventually, why exactly is it that there's so many crummy leaders out there that can't even seem to get the simple things done in their day-to-day work? And yeah, it's a very broad question, and the first thing I'd mention is that there's really not much in the way of leadership training that takes place in most organizations today, and that's a huge contributor to the lack of leadership, the epidemic of poor leadership that I think we see in our organizations today. But the point that I'd like to make today is more of an environmental point, and that is that we all have a ton of things on our plate. There is a huge amount of competing priorities, especially when you get up into leadership, that you have to deal with, and oftentimes the leader's boss isn't particularly great at prioritizing for them. They give them the classic, I want it all done and I want it all done now sort of situation. So what happens is that even if you are a good leader, you're trapped under this workload, and the only way out of it is to either cut corners or leave stuff halfway done for higher priority items that pop up. And so you have this whole traffic jam of wreckage of C-level work, not A or B, grade work, C-level work, or half-completed projects. And that's not a situation that over time it just gets worse and worse and worse. And that's why so many leaders are faced with that situation where they don't seem to be accomplishing anything that they set out to. They come in for the day, and you, I'm sure, have experienced this as well, with where you have a plan for what you want to accomplish over the course of the day, and you leave at the end of the day and realize you didn't accomplish a single thing that was on that plate. So the way that I see overcoming this particular issue, and what I'm going to introduce you to today, is the concept of starting strong and ending strong. Really what you want to focus on is that first 30 minutes of your day and the last 30 minutes of your day, so that you can start on the projects you need to and you can finish the projects you need to at the end of the day. So you don't have, as I said, the wreckage of all these half-done projects that build up over the course of the week, a month, a day, what have you. And so the first thing is to start strong. And I'm going to throw you a curveball here, and what you really need to do is not check your email and not have those conversations with people right when you walk in the door. What happens with that plan that you make when you're commuting in the morning is that as soon as you walk in the door, you pop open your inbox and you have whole new priorities. People pop into your office with whole other things that you need to do. And so you start weak. You don't start handling the things that are most important to you, that you need to get some momentum with, that you need to get done. So you need to start with that first 30 minutes of the day. Don't open the email. If it's an emergency and if it really needs to be done, somebody will interrupt you. You don't need to volunteer those sorts of interruptions. So start the day strong whenever possible. You won't always be able to, but at least those few days a week where you are able to get those 30 minutes and get some headway will be critically important to not building up that logjam. The last thing is the last 30 minutes of your day. That's where you need to clean things up. That's where, if you have those lower priority items that are half done, that you can go ahead and spend the 5, 10, 15 minutes to finish them off. What you'll see is that as you get things completed, you take little pieces out of that logjam, and it doesn't build up and it doesn't create as much of a problem down the road. It's tough initially to start out with this process of first 30 minutes, last 30 minutes, but it is something that over a week, over a couple of weeks, you'll see all of a sudden clears everything out so that you're able to have even better productivity than you already do. Have a good one, everyone.